Hello everyone, welcome to SwitchUp. My name is Glen and today I've got a list of the best games that I enjoyed to play with my family. Now just for a bit of context, when I say family I'm talking about my wife. I have a 6-year-old daughter, I do have a baby son, but obviously he's not old enough yet to be playing games, so it's mainly just the three of us. This list will include a variety of different games, some of which are co-op, some are competitive, most of course are multiplayer games, but a few of them are single player experiences that we just play together, one person controlling and the other people contributing in terms of ideas or solutions. I would consider each and every one of the games on this list to be family friendly, not kids games that you can just plonk them in front of to keep them quiet. I think there's quite a nice mix of games that the whole family can enjoy. Okay, with all that said, let's get into the list. The first game then, a game that's fun for any age really, and this is Rayman Legends. Now this can be played with up to 4 players I believe locally, and is a great early entry platformer in multiplayer because of the mechanic whereby if you die, your character goes into a balloon and can then be saved by one of the other characters, but it's also challenging enough that even experienced players will have a good time playing it. I remember the first time my daughter played this with us, she was proper belly laughing whenever she fell and ended up as a balloon, and at one point both my wife and I had fallen off the side and ended up as balloons, and she thought it was hilarious that she was the only one left and we were floating about in front of her. This mechanic just alleviates the stress of having to play with a player that's not as skilled as yourself, but also keeps things fun for that player as well, as they can still achieve quite a bit. It's a lovely looking platformer, and as I say, it's not easy by any stretch, it's just very accommodating to players of all skill levels. Next game then, a game I mentioned recently in another list video that we did, this is LEGO Worlds. Now you could substitute this game for any of the world builder type games available on the Switch, such as Dragon Quest Builders 2, Minecraft of course, Terraria and a host of others. And whilst this one technically isn't fantastic, especially in multiplayer where it does really start to chug, it's my daughter's favourite and one we have a lot of fun playing together. Now as a household we're all big LEGO fans, which obviously adds to the experience of playing this, and it's just a lot of fun trying to find the gold bricks to earn yourself new power-ups and places to visit. As well as this world building LEGO game, of course there are a host of other LEGO games on the Switch, all of which are great fun for all the family. Another one of my daughter's favourites and one that we play together is the LEGO Harry Potter game, so yes, there are plenty of others to check out as well. The next pick then would be Super Mario Party. Now I've never been a huge Mario Party fan, I've played a couple of them in the past and they're certainly fun, but I've always enjoyed the digital versions of games such as Carcassonne when playing a board game on the computer. But obviously this is about games to play with a family, and in terms of that motif you can't do much better than the Mario Party games. From what I heard, the one on the Switch was a bit of a return to form, and whilst I've heard some people say they would have liked more boards and things like that, for my money it did absolutely everything it needed to do. Staying with a competitive game next then, we have Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Again, there are a whole host of kart racing or just racing games on the Switch, but Nintendo's flagship racer really does do everything you need it to do when playing with a family. You have a host of colourful characters, a variety of fantastically crafted tracks, both solo and team racing, plus of course the battle mode as well. When it comes to younger players, or less experienced players I should say, there are some assists that you can turn on to help them with the controls, and again this just keeps things fun for the whole family. We can put those on for my daughter so she stays competitive within the race, and the on-track items found within the game are also a great leveller. Changing things up a little bit now then, and the next one is a game called Toki Tori. Now this is a single player experience really, but it's one that we play together as I said at the start, with one person controlling the character and the others just offering advice or solutions to the puzzles. For anyone that's not played this game before, it is a puzzle platformer where you must guide a young chicken to collect all of the eggs on a stage before moving on to the next one, but you cannot jump and you must therefore tackle each level in a certain order in order to be able to finish it, and you'll have certain power-ups with a limited amount of uses per level that you can use to achieve this. This was a Game Boy Color game many years ago now, and this enhanced remake of that game can be got for a good price on the Nintendo eShop. A fun game whether playing by yourself or with a few people watching on. The next one then, I think this was the first game my daughter ever played, and it's a game called Carnival Games. Now this was also on the Wii, and is probably the kind of game that becomes synonymous with the shovelware tag that the Wii started to become known for, but to be fair, for what it is and for what you're playing it for, this isn't a bad game. It has a variety of small mini games included, where up to 4 people can compete against each other to try and win tokens to unlock more games. They're all pretty basic, seeing you need to aim a reticule and hold down a button for a certain amount of time, say, to throw a ball into a cup or a hoop over a peg, that sort of thing. But as I say, in the right context, playing with your family, it's just a good time. There's something about being a long time gamer that games that you would have almost snorted at with derision when you were younger, when you become a family man, you appreciate them for what they are, and you can have a good time with them, especially when your kids enjoy playing it.
Balls, more fun!
The next one is a nice example of how a game can grow with a family over the years, and it's Snip Eclipse. Now this again was one of the very first games my daughter ever played with us, but back then when she was a lot younger, it was just a case of her chopping us up, as you can do in this game, to each of the characters, and she just found that very funny as a young child. But as she's got that little bit older and she can now understand the point of the game in obviously having to solve the problems by cutting each other into shapes, we've begun to be able to play it as a family properly and complete the levels together. When we do play it in 3-player mode, as I said, my son's a baby at the minute, he's too young to play with us, one of the players does have to take the role of 2 characters, I'm assuming so that you've got enough characters to chop into the pieces you need to solve the levels, and this is achieved by pressing the X button to switch between those 2, but it's certainly a lot of fun, and it was a game that came out digitally first and then physically later, and I think you can probably find the physical version for a decent price these days. Next up we have the Scribblenauts Mega Pack. Now the Scribblenauts series is one that I played way back on the Nintendo DS originally, both the first game and its sequel Super Scribblenauts, and I actually introduced it to my wife when I first met her, and we'd play it together occasionally, taking it in turns to solve one of the problems to earn the stars. Now this Mega Pack includes Scribblenauts Unleashed and the Scribblenauts DC Comics game as well, both of which were released as separate games on the Wii U, although the DC one never actually came out in the UK, so I never got to play it. This pack is available in America. I don't think again you can get it in England, but with the Switch being region free, obviously you can import it as I did with this one. Again, it's not multiplayer in the popular sense of the word, it's another game where we take it in turns to have a go, or just talk over the problems as a family and try to solve them. And the fun thing about this game is of course there are many different solutions to each problem, so no matter how strange and outlandish an idea is, you can at least try it and have a bit of fun with it. There is another Scribblenauts game available on the Switch, I think it's called Showdown, but that's more a minigame collection than a proper Scribblenauts game. This personally would be my pick of the 2. The last game then is Super Mario Maker 2. Now this one does have a multiplayer angle anyway, but we don't really play it for that. It's more about making levels together and then just trying them through. Again, the original Mario Maker on the Wii U was a game my daughter played when she was very young, and I remember her, I say making in inverted commas, a level when she was about 2 years old, It was one of the Bowser Castle levels that had lava at the bottom, but she actually managed to make a level that was completable. It's nicer now she's that bit older, being able to talk to her about level design and just seeing if we can make something that's enjoyable for other players to play. It's a bit of a learning experience for both of us as we play it. I've only actually posted one level for this particular game, just so busy with other things these days, but I will stick the code to that level up on the screen now if you do want to try this one out. It's based on the infamous water level from the Ninja Turtles game on the NES.
You put smiles on everyone. I think of you and of all I should have done.
So that's it then, games that you can play with the family. As I said, these are not co-op games necessarily, it's not a co-op games list. What I mean by that is that a game like Overcooked, for example, is a great game that I play with my missus all the time and we have a lot of fun with, but I wouldn't play it with my daughter, so it's not on this list. I hope you did enjoy it. Please do remember to leave a like if you did, and consider subscribing for all things Switch all the time. A quick thank you to our Patreons as always for your continued support, and to each and every one of you for watching our videos. Wherever you are in the world, please do stay safe at the minute, take care, and until next time, happy gaming.
Every day is a struggle and a strife, but don't you agree? With beating hearts we're still